Mark Scaife is your pole sitter alongside teammate Craig Lowndes. That's how they finished in race 1. Tander and Radisich on row 2. Russell Ingall and Glenn Seaton on the 3rd row, and John Bowe and Tony Longhurst from grid 7 and 8.
If you look at those yellow boxes down the right-hand side of the Shell Helix grid, it shows where they qualified, so you get an idea of how they ran in race 1. Larry Perkins qualified 14th, Brad Jones 17th up to 12th. That was a good effort from Bradley in the Aussie Mail car. Let's hope he can keep improving throughout the day.
Further back, McConville and Ellery, Stephen Johnson, Greg Murphy, who you can see there in the background in the Kmart Commodore, Donna Kelly, Paul Romano and Greg Ritter on the 12th.
Thomas Mazira, Trevor Ashby, Steve Reed, who got turned around in that one, recovered to 27th. Chris Smurden, Mark Larkham, Paul Wheel. Mark Larkham served a stop-go penalty for jumping the start. Peter Dorman, Cameron McLean, back there in 32 after qualifying 24th. He's having a tough season.
Alan Heath, Mark Poole, Anthony Tratt, Dougal McDougall, Bargwanna off the back of the grid. Watch out for him. He's got a decent set of rubber after missing out on the bulk of race 1. He'll be one to watch.
Do you know, I can't understand, they're talking about people jumping starts and that, unless they have a man watching each row of the grid level with the cars all the way back up the circuit. I fail to see how they can predict, or not predict, how they can say he, back on the 12th row, has jumped the grid, Mark. Because look, if you look at it there, how can you see if a car's creeping forward towards you sort of 2 inches? It's impossible.
Yeah, it's a tough call. That many cars, a huge queue of cars. We're almost ready for blast-off. Can Craig Lowndes overcome that pole position of his teammate?
Green flag waved at the back of the grid. The revs rise from the awesome V8s as we get set for race 2 of round 4 of the Shell Championship Series. We're away. A great start by Lowndes. Radisich is through as well, and so too Tander. Scaife has been swallowed up off the start, and Radisich is through. Radisich has grabbed the lead. Brilliant start. Lowndes settles into 2nd place. That is a blinding start in the Shell Helix Falcon. A Ford leads at Eastern Creek from a Holden in the hands of Lowndes, and then we go back into 3rd place. Wow, what a start here.
Well, they're going to have to...
Oh, look at this now.
Look at this
Tander.
Oh, Tander.
Tander's made his way up as well. So Radisich under siege, and Tander's barged his way through into 2nd, forcing both the Holden Racing Team Commodores further back.
Romano.
Problems there for Romano. Now down into turn 4. Well, what a real change of scenery here. Look at this. Morris and Larry Perkins.
Perkins and...
Well, I don't think Larry
Morris.
Perkins is going to be getting a Christmas card from Paul Morris or vice versa this year. Larry will be one unhappy camper about that.
So one of the Shell Fords there might be Steve Johnson pumping out a bit of smoke. There might be a tyre rubbing, but his teammate, the Rat, is on the attack. An unbelievable start to jump the Holden duo in front of him. Let's have a look at the Shell Helix replay.
So we jump aboard.
Oh, look at that. Just lighten her up and no traction.
Now watch how Radisich, look at that.
Perfect. Good move.
Just threading through the needle. Beautiful start. The Shell 40 really got the power down. Look at the gap.
Timed it to perfection. Now we're getting word through that John Faulkner, who was meant to be starting from pit lane, has in fact not even made his way out onto the circuit. He's missing from the grid, so we'll try and find out from our guys in pit lane just what's going on. You jump aboard the Shell Helix Falcon with the Rat, the race leader now. Look at the gap out the back of the Falcon. Back to the first of the Commodores. The Ford fans rejoice here at Eastern Creek because the Rat is leading and giving the Ford fans something to cheer about.
I tell you what, they were pretty flat after that race 1. Just a mild cheer as the cars crossed the finish line. Now they're standing up out of their seats. They can't believe it. A Falcon is leading a V8 supercar race. Long time between picks. Look at the battle for 2nd between Tander and Craig Lowndes. Mark Scaife, the pole position man, though, he's suffered badly in that. He's back in 4th. The enforcer, Russell Ingall, in 5th. Then it's Seaton, Bowe, Baird, Crompton, Longhurst.
Oh, this is Morris and Perkins. Have a look here. See Morris. Really wasn't. There wasn't any room there, and basically he should have done it. Perkins won't be happy about that. And he's not the bloke to get on the wrong side of our Larry, is he?
Well, what an amazing turnaround. The 37-year-old Kiwi, Paul Radisich, currently running 3rd in the Shell Championship Series. Fastest Ford throughout qualifying. He had enormous oversteer in the car in the first heat. The team's obviously made some adjustments. Let's see if it's going to help him throughout the race. It's one thing to start well, but you've got to carry it right through the race.
John Faulkner in the Team Asia Online Commodore has rejoined the field, we're told. But right now, a Ford leading proceedings. Look at them streaming out of turn 9. One of the Kmart Commodores there, that's Murphy. Greg Murphy just hanging on to it out of turn 9. The Murph doing a sensational job. No doubt all the viewers watching through TV1 in New Zealand would be enjoying watching his progress at the moment because a Kiwi leads outright. Paul Radisich leads Craig Baird, the next best in 8th place, then it's Murph.
On board with Greg Murphy in the Kmart Castrol Commodore. And these Gibson Motorsport cars have really struggled. They continue to struggle in qualifying. They've got good race pace, but they just can't get any speed out of the cars when they're on green tyres, and that costs them dearly. They're always ending up right down the back of the field.
Especially in a place like this, because you've got no chance. I mean, if you're up the back, you know, to get through, there's literally nowhere to pass.
Well, Baz, this is why these cars are always so strong in the endurance races, because they've got enough track time to actually move up and make some positions. But in a sprint race, very, very difficult to recover from a lowly starting position.
Thomas Mazira in trouble.
Radicic now under attack from the Holdens. Keep in mind, Jason Bargwanna, who had to start off the back of the grid after bench steering in Heat 1. He's up to 22nd, so the Valvoline Cummins driver on a real charge. Look how close they are now to the Shell Ford.
Barnes is getting some good practice, I think, for race 2 at Canberra, where we'll be starting off the back of the grid.
Bit of reverse grid practice for Bargwanna. Not the way he wanted to do it, but he's going to get plenty of experience if he's punching his way through the field. Now look how close they are. Craig Lowndes right up behind the Valvoline Cummins Commodore. Well, we've got this leading trio. We've seen these two, Scaife, Lowndes and Tander, all over each other in the opening rounds of the championship. What we haven't seen is a Shell Falcon in front of them. It's a real turnaround for the books.
Be interesting to see top speedways down the front straight. Oh, this is Mazira. There he is.
Oh, that's with Rodney Forbes there.
Yes, was there bodily contact there?
Rodney Forbes in the wins Commodore. Well, now the attack continues. Can the Rat defend?
Keep it closed door coming up to the hairpin.
The Ford fans in the grandstand went crazy when they saw this man. Look at the conservative line he takes.
Tander.
See the conservative line he takes into turn 2 because he's got a Valvoline Cummins Commodore right up behind him. He's not giving that car a centimetre of space. And he's got every right to drive that defensive line as long as he's not weaving. Puts his car right in the middle of the circuit, make it very, very hard for the cars behind to pass. Radicic earned the wrath of a number of Commodore drivers as he's using these tactics at the Melbourne Grand Prix support races. But he's quite entitled to do what he's doing.
You see, Tander's looking at Radicic, but also he's got to keep his backside covered because Lowndes is right up his bottom as well. So it's difficult when you're trying to split your mind, thinking about what you're trying to do to the guy in front and also covering your rear.
You've got to give credit to Paul Radicic. He really has been the mainstay for the Ford Brigade so far this season, has been doing an absolutely tremendous job since we kicked off round 1 at Phillip Island, and this is what the fans want to see. A Ford out in front. The 37-year-old now resides, of course, on the Gold Coast. Former driver with the Ford factory team in the Super Touring Championship, twice a winner of the World Cup. That's your Munro profile on Paul Radicic, race leader here in race 2.
Well, 6 of the top 10 cars at the moment are Ford, so is the Blue Oval coming back, looking strong at the moment at Eastern Creek. Originally from Auckland, Paul Radicic, 17th championship start. He's taken 1 pole position. That was at Symmons Plains, but he has not yet won a heat of the Shell Championship Series. Could this be the first one? Look how close Tander gets. Under brakes, a little kiss on the bumper as they come out of turn 2. Radicic is controlling the pace of this race.
Yeah, you remember last year we were saying we haven't seen the proper Rat yet because he never seemed to get the late. Look at this, look.
Paul Tander having a look down the inside and trying to cover from Lowndes at the same time.
Well, Radicic is enormously experienced, 2 times World Cup Touring Car Champion, 3 times winner of the New Zealand Grand Prix. He's been a former factory driver for both Ford and Peugeot. He's a guy with enormous experience in 10 tops, and he will be relishing this challenge.
His best lap, a 1:34.31. Tander going quick though, a 1:33.88 was the best from Tander. As they make their way off the back of Corporate Hill, the shot from up high in the Goodyear blimp. Tander good under brakes down into turn 9. The 2 HRT Commodores close up as well. And this whole process is helping Ingle, exactly right.
Coming up.
Well, this just goes to show if Radicic is running a pace a little bit slower than the Commodores could run it, it doesn't matter. As long as he's got them boxed in, they can't do anything about it. Let's have a look at this replay.
Now, who's this? Paul Wheel on the outside there, Donaher, and looks like Greg Ritter.
Oh, Paul Wheel.
Paul Wheel, yep. And Ritter on the inside. So the officials are having a good look at that one later on. Meanwhile, back at the front, Paul Radicic under maximum pressure from the Holden attack. Look at them all. Commodores, 1 in a row. Tander, Lowndes, Scaife, Ingle, Seaton, the next of the Fords back in 6th. Then it's Bowe, Baird and Crompton. A quartet of Falcons from 6th to 10th. So the Commodores, the meat and a Ford sandwich at Eastern Creek at the moment.
Got to take your hat off also to Dean Orr and the team and the Dick Johnson Racing outfit. They have worked incredibly hard on this car. They were scratching their head at the end of practice on Saturday when both Radicic and his teammate Stephen Johnson were languishing, and now look at Radicic leading the way.
Yeah, well, the times have pumped out at 1:35.03 for Radicic, so that's not running a bad pace. The Commodores toward the end of that first race are running in the mid-35, so it's not going that much slower. He's just getting a bit of a build-up behind him.
The point about it is, so the nature of the circuit, if he can just steer a middle course, you know, the danger zone is at the end of the straight here. If he gets sort of 2 or 3 up really close. But
yeah, he's just got to keep the car tight and accurate. It looks like it's behaving itself a lot better. An enormous amount of oversteer in Heat 1. That's the view from the Goodyear blimp looking down on Eastern Creek Raceway. Look at how hot and frustrated these Commodores are getting behind him. But Radicic equal to the task. So this has been a real turnaround in V8 Supercar in 2000. The Fords have been copping an absolute mauling in the opening rounds. Only taken 1 heat win. That was Craig Baird back at Phillip Island in the opening championship round. Since then, it's been an absolute drought.
But this here is a Ford fight back this afternoon in race 2. Look at Glenn Seaton making a move on Russell Ingall as well as we come down the main straight. Can Seaton pull it off? He's not close enough, so he won't do it. He tucks back in behind the enforcer. Glenn Seaton, who's enjoyed so much success around Eastern Creek in the past, particularly in the days of the Winfield Triple Challenge, sits at the moment in 6th place. There he is. John Bowe just in behind him, and Russell Ingall in front. Up in front, though, it is Paul Radicic getting a little sideways in the exit of turn 2. Tander in behind him, then Lowndes and Scape, Russell Ingall, and this man, you ride in the Ford FTR Falcon of Glenn Seaton.
Absolutely crucial championship points on offer here too. Garth Tander still leading the championship. He's got a battle on his hands with a big Shell Ford in front.
Well, the action is hotting right up here at the Creek. Stay with us. Radicic leading from Tander, Lowndes, Scape, Russell Ingall, Glenn Seaton, John Bowe and Craig Baird on race 7 of 13 laps. Crompton, Longhurst, Richards and Jones. Stay with us. Trust you're enjoying the action. Great to have you with us here at Eastern Creek Raceway. A Ford out in front. When we left you, we were on lap 7. This is lap 8. Radicic leading the way from Tander and under all sorts of pressure. Look at this. Lowndes now applying the thumb screws as well, and Scape is right there. A freight train of Holdens and Fords, line astern, heading towards turns 11 and 12. Radicic, the man under pressure and doing a sensational job withstanding it.
Well, I'll tell you what, this reminds you of that Grand Prix many years ago, back in 1981, when Gilles Villeneuve held them out, I think, fast down the straights. Here we go.
Now, this happened during the ad break.
Brilliant. Tander up the inside, but watch Radicic. This is Tander runs a bit wide. Radicic keeps it up on the inside, but you see Tander still on the proper side of the circuit to change direction. Now you see that's where he went in, run wide, and it was brilliant driving from Radicic. Well, both Tander and Radicic. It was great stuff.
Oh, look, Lowndes now.
Oh,
Look at inside.
Yes.
5 remaining. In this one now, Lowndes has gotten through. Tander's gone.
Off. Oh, boy.
Now, how will that affect our championship leader? He gets back on, but he's well down behind Greg Murphy. I think he's rejoined in about 14th position, so that has cost him. In fact, there's Brad Jones now.
Front left is flat. Oh, what a shame.
Well, this is what happens when you're chasing a championship. He's been Mr. Consistency so far, but it takes one little collision like that, and all of a sudden your race plan goes out the window. Garth Tander in serious trouble now. Flat tyre, he's got to limp it round to the pits. At the time, well, he's in the pits, he's going to start virtually from the back of the grid.
Now Lowndes having a look here, Mark, on the outside, down into turn 9.
Oh, no, Scape's on the inside.
Scape's gotten through. So his teammate left the door open, and Scape pounced. So our race 1 winner has moved up to 2nd place. Things keep changing all the time here.
Look at that. Oh, well, it's...
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
Well, it is. You know, it's unusually aggressive for Lowndes. To see right from the very beginning of it, that's what we need to do to sort of make any comment. But,
so the Valvoline Cummins car, 4 laps remaining for Paul Radicic, a fight for survival. He's now under attack from the Red Barons. Mark Scape and Craig Lowndes. Russell Ingall back there in 4th position. Seaton, Bowe, Baird, Crompton, Longhurst and Stephen Richards. But this is where the action is. Can Radicic hang on?
Oh, look, that's Tander. Oh, it's...
Well, Garth Tander, our championship leader. This is a chance for the Mobile Holden Racing team to close the gap on him in the points chase. Tander first, Skate second, Radicic third in points at the moment. But Radicic leading this one. Can he take his first Shell Championships Series victory? Ford fans around the track and around the country, no doubt holding their fingers, crossing their fingers, holding their breath.
Well, we know what Radicic is like in a fight. We've seen him enough times in the British Touring Car Series, so you know, they're going to struggle to get past him.
Well, he's come from
close here.
He's come from one of the toughest touring car championships in the world to another, and this is the toughest tin top battle in the world right now, and Radicic should be aware of it. There's Garth Tander trying to do a quick tyre chase. Look at Radicic going right down the inside line.
Russell having a look as well. Now, Radicic exits turn 9, gets good power down to the ground, considering what he told you before, Mark. He said that he was driving speedway style around here, having trouble towards the end of race 1 rather, but not at the ending or closing stages of race 2. So at the moment, Radicic leads from Skaife, and Skaife under pressure again from his teammate Lowndes on the exit of 12 and onto the 1 kilometre long main straight.
If you look at Radicic's car, it doesn't look like it's sort of tail happy at the moment. Now, you know, it's looking really good.
No, the boys have made the changes to whatever was required. Garth Tander, we've heard from the pits, is out of the race, so that's a big points drop for the 23-year-old West Australian. There's Larry Perkins, who went out earlier. Tander may rejoin, we hear, but he's going to be right out of the running. This is where it's happening. Paul Radicic under maximum fire from the Holden Racing team. Mark Skaife in second, Craig Lowndes, Russell Ingall in third. But this is very good driving by Radicic. He's using the power of the Ford to get ahead on the straights. He might be a little bit slower through the corners, but
Look
doesn't
at
matter.
Lowndes.
Oh, I don't think... Lowndes is really aggressive at the moment, there's no doubt.
Yeah, but Radicic has got good speed around the back of the corner. When these 2 or 3 cars are tussling with each other, it gives him a 2 or 3 car break, and that's what he needs.
Ingall's there as well. Look at him right in the back of Lowndes now as they exit the back of the Corporate Hill area. So the Castrol Commodore going quite well in 4th place. The Enforcer been a model of consistency today.
Well, Radicic is wise to that challenge down the inside. If he leaves even a centimetre of space, Skaife's going to stuff the nose of his car up there. So Radicic is driving a very, very conservative defensive line, and he's doing it brilliantly.
What a great series this is now. I mean, it's so competitive.
Well, you just never know, do you, Baz?
Yeah.
I mean, the first heat was a bit of a yawn, and the second one's absolutely
A cracker.
alive.
There's Craig Baird, second of the Kiwis in the top 10, if you like. He currently sits in 7th place, but a Kiwi leads. Paul Radicic, and now Seaton trying to have a look at Russell Ingall again. He's not close enough as they come across the start-finish line. 2 to go. 2 to go as we jump aboard the FTR Falcon through the sweeping left-hander. 5th gear through here in the Fords, in excess of 200 k's an hour. Then it's hard under brakes down into turn 2. For this double apex left-hander, they have 2 real bites at it here, a very late apex on it. Now working toward turn 4, you can see Seaton working away.
See the way he short shifts there too. He goes 3rd, 4th very quickly to use the maximum torque of the engine, so he's not frying up the tyres coming out of that corner. He's doing well at the moment. He's up behind this Commodore bunch, but there's nothing he can do about it. Radicic equal to the task.
It's Cameron. It just looks like the rear end locked up on coming into there.
Well, this one's not over yet. Looks like Radicic's car a little bit taily coming out under power through those corners. Let's see if he can hang on by his fingernails. It really would be a turn up for the series. It's been absolute Holden domination so far. Can Paul Radicic hang on?
Well, bear in mind, Radicic has never won a race in the championship. He has won races, of course, in the supports to the Honda Indy, but never won a championship race. Don't forget, folks, lots of action coming your way right here on your home of bonus sport. Round 2 of the Konica V8 Lights is at Phillip Island. Make sure you get there the 6th and 7th of May, and if you don't, you can catch all the action a week later, of course, on trackside. Round 5 of the Shell Championship Series. We're off to Hidden Valley in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to going north between 3 and 5 on the 21st of May. 1 lap to go for Paul Radicic. Can he pull it off? His first ever race win in the Shell Championship Series, as I mentioned before. He's done it in the supports to Honda Indy. Took 3 from 3 there, I think it was last year, but has never done it in this series, and he'll be desperately looking to do it.
Unless he outbrakes himself somewhere, I can't see that that Skaife is going to get past him, because he keeps it nice and tight in everywhere. There's only possibility of outbraking breaking himself. He's down into the hairpin, so he's looking good. I mean, he's very quick through his slot, isn't he? Very quick.
Car looking very smart on the road, Baz. He's not doing anything wrong at all. Paul Radisich. Car looking just perfect. At the end of this second race, we go up high with the Goodyear blimp. And Radisich, who was complaining about having dramas at the end of race 1 when he was talking to Mark Osler, well, he's turned it all around in race 2. Now only a couple of corners left to go, Baz.
Well, it's just, I can't see any way. Oh! I can't see any way Scapey's going to do it, because there's no... If he keeps it nice and tight in on the double left-hander onto the start and finish, horsepower-wise, the Ford's equally as good as the Holden you saw, top speed-wise. So any kind of luck, it's going to be the #1 for the Rat, his first ever win.
The Ford fans in the grandstand are already on their feet, because this is going to be Paul Radisich's first victory in the Shell Championship Series. He takes out race 2 of round 4 of the Shell Championship Series at the Creek. Well done to the Kiwi. There's his wife and all the team. They are delighted with that. Scaife home second, Craig Lowndes third, Russell Ingall the enforcer fourth, and Glenn Seaton fifth. Well,
I bet they're also at last.
take a bow, Paul Radisich. You've done Ford and New Zealand proud. That's a great result.
That was good. That was a really good drive. Excellent. And you saw how quick his reactions were. DJ's got a tear in his eye. Now, that's an unusual sight.
Now, that's the first race win for Dick Johnson Racing since Mallala in 1998. So, you saw team owner Dick Johnson looking on there a few moments ago. A much-needed win for the Shell Helix Racing outfit, who are extremely professional. And a big congratulations also to team manager Dean Orr and all the boys. They've done a sensational job. Paul Radisich takes victory in race 2 here at the Creek. Mark Scaife home second, Lowndes third, Russell Ingall hanging on a good consistent effort for fourth. Then it's Seaton, Bow, Craig Baird and Tony Longhurst. They are your top 8. Then it's Crompton, Stevie Richards, Greg Murphy, Brad Jones, Paul Morris gets up there in 13th. Bargwana from the back of the grid. That's a storming drive to 14th. Ellery 15th. Steve Johnson finishes 16th.